What's going on, guys? This is Jake at That Fit Friend, and today I'm reviewing the Xero Shoes Zelen. So this is the latest performance-focused shoe from Xero Shoes. It's designed to be like their eco-friendly running shoe. I also use them for hybrid training, but we'll dive into that later. So 3 pros that I have with this model is number 1, if you're looking for a barefoot shoe that can work really well in the context of running and lifting, this is a good model to look into. In the context of running, I like the sole on the shoe. It has this tire-like tread. It works really well on road, turf, at the track, on grass. You get a good amount of traction from the shoe. And then also you have this breathable upper, which also feeds really well into running if you're going on longer distance runs or if you're running in hotter climates. In the context of lifting, this tread and the sole patterning doesn't take away from the shoe's overall stability in the gym, and you have that removable insole with that internal finish construction, so you have a little bit of variance in regard to how the shoe fits and feels when you are lifting. So if you want to get super close to the ground, you could take out that insole. If you want a little bit more cushion, you can leave that insole in, and it gives you a nice level of variety there. The second pro I have with this shoe is that overall it is very breathable, and I like the level of durability that Xero Shoes put into this model. So up here on the toe box, we have a reinforced layer here. I like the sole patterning. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break down anytime soon, and I like the breathability of the knit upper. Now that being said, I do think this shoe is gonna be best served in warmer climates. So for warmer days in the spring, fall, and summer, this shoe is gonna work really well because with that high level of breathability, you can go sockless or you can wear really thin socks, and the shoe is gonna keep your foot really cool. So if that is something that you desire, that is a perk with this model. And overall, the durability of the construction seems pretty on point for what this shoe is designed to do. My third pro with this model is that if you're looking for a barefoot shoe that has slightly more sustainable materials and has materials in it that are designed to be a little bit more eco-friendly, this is a good model to look into. And honestly, like, that's the main draw to this model in my opinion, especially when you compare it to the HFS, which serves similar purposes in regard to training, running, and whatnot. The knit upper in this model is designed with an RPET material, so that is a recycled polyethylene terephthalate, and then also the sock liner and sole in the shoe are both biodegradable, which are cool features, especially if you do care about the material sourcing in your shoes. So those are my 3 pros with this model, but now let's talk about a couple of cons I have noticed. So 2 potential cons I could see folks having with the Xero Shoes Zelen is number 1, you're going to be a little bit limited in the context in which this shoe is going to excel at its best. Now, what do I mean? So with the high level of breathability in this knit, the shoe is once again going to be best served for warmer settings and in dry climates. So using these in the winter, your feet might get a little bit cool, and also water gets through this knit really easily, so I would suggest limiting your wear of this model if it's damp or wet outside, just to prevent any waterlogging of your shoes, especially while you are mid-workout. So that being said, I would say limit your wear for this model once again for dry and warm settings, and you'll get the most out of this shoe. The second drawback with this model, and I'm a little bit torn on this because this is, I think, one of the better looking performance focused shoes from Xero Shoes, but it's still not, I think, the best looking when it comes to like casual and daily wear. So if you want a barefoot shoe that you can train in, that you can run in, that you can also wear with like jeans and out and about, I don't know if this shoe is necessarily going to be it. And now I know beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and half of you watching are probably like, yeah, shut up, ugly. But that being said, it's just not my favorite shoe when it comes to its appearance. Now, will I wear it on a daily wear basis to go get coffee, to walk the dogs, to just run errands? Yes, but this is not gonna be the shoe that I wear with like jeans out and about because I just am not the biggest fan of its appearance. It's a better looking model than some of the other performance focused Xero shoes, but I still think it could use a little bit of tweaking when it comes to like having a more casual appearance. But now let's talk about the performance of this shoe. So when it comes to performance in the Xero Shoes Zelen, I'm gonna break this section into a few different parts. We'll talk about lifting, versatile training, running, and then daily wear. Now, in the context of lifting, strength training, etc., I mentioned that this model is a good hybrid training shoe. So if you are on the market for a barefoot shoe that works really well in the context of running and lifting, this is a good model to look into. The sole of this model and the tread patterning does not take away from the stability that you get from the shoe in the gym. You have a good amount of flexibility to really articulate that foot. And again, like, I like that the shoe comes with a removable insole because it gives you a little bit of variance there in the context of how you want your barefoot shoe to feel when you're lifting. So if you're deadlifting or doing RDLs or any form of variation where you want to get as close to the ground as possible, I like popping out that insole because you do feel super close to the ground, especially if you can't go barefoot in your gym. And when it comes to just doing lunges or other variations where you are going to be a little bit more active on the feet, so like active foot exercises, I like leaving the insole in because it gives you a little bit more cushion in regard to just how the shoe feels and performs. Now, when it comes to versatile training, I like this model for 2 key reasons. Number 1, I like the level of breathability you get with this model, because if you are, let's say, in a class setting, or if you're training outdoors and it's in the summer, or if you're just doing HIIT workouts like in a crowded commercial gym, the shoe should breathe really well for you. And the second reason why I like it for versatile training is that if you like having a barefoot shoe that feels super sock-like on the foot and almost like very minimalist back here on the boot and through the midfoot and forefoot, this is a good model to look into. It feels very lightweight on the feet. So when it comes to running, I really like this model for sprints, short and mid-range runs. It feels very easy to wear, it's super lightweight, and you get a nice level of traction here with that sole. Now, I have not tested this shoe with super long distance runs. With all of the reviews I do, I try to limit where I call my shots when it comes to long distance runs, and running long distance in barefoot shoes does kind of beat me up. So I kept my mileage a little bit lower in this shoe. So when it comes to sprints and short and mid-range runs, this model excels really well. And I like what Xero Shoes did with this model's construction and how they're providing security in the midfoot of this shoe. It feels very easy to wear for these contexts. Now, for daily wear, this model is once again okay, and I really think that it's going to be really individual with how you like the appearance of the shoe and how you want to wear it. But if you're just going out and about, you're in warm, dry settings, this model works really well for daily wear. However, again, I think that appearance is a little bit of a drawback, especially if you want to wear the shoe to like slightly more semi-formal occasions, etc. So overall, I have really enjoyed training in the Xero Shoes Zelen. I think it's a pretty good hybrid training barefoot shoe. So now let's answer the question, who are these best for? So I think there's a key population that the shoe is going to work really good for, and that is the person that wants a hybrid training barefoot shoe. So obviously this model works well for running, so if you just want to run in them, you totally can. But I think where this model excels, especially over other barefoot shoes designed for niche activities, is that it works so good in the gym and for runs and for more athletic focused training. Plus the fact that this is made with eco-friendly materials is a subtle perk. So if you do care about the sourcing of the materials in your shoe and you want a hybrid training barefoot shoe, this is a good model to explore. When chatting on sizing and fit in the Xero Shoes Zelen, you should be safe going true to size, and Xero Shoes even mentions on their site that this shoe does fit fairly true to size. The length fits true, and there is adequate width through the midfoot and toe box in this model. When it comes to price in the Xero Shoes Zelen, you can expect to pay $129.99 USD. Now, I think if you are looking for a shoe that has more responsibly sourced materials, then the price point could be justified in this model, especially if you want the shoe for running and hybrid training, because it does perform well and you are going to pay a little bit more for those recycled materials. But if you're not interested necessarily in the materials and the sourcing of your shoe and how it is made, then you can look into the HFS or the Xero Shoes 360. Those are both a little bit more cost efficient and also work well as shoes that you can run in and lift in. All right guys, now let's talk about the weight, heel to toe drop, and insole in the Xero Shoes Zelen. So for my size 10 model here, we have a weight of 8.05 ounces. This model's heel to toe drop is 0 millimeters. And then once again, we have a removable insole and the internal portion of the shoe is finished. Now let's go over the construction of the Xero Shoes Zelen. So up here on the toe box, once again, we have a reinforced layer around the toe box with no external stitching. I personally love that for durability. Then we also have a sole that wraps up a little bit on the toe. Overall, the toe does feel very durable, so I don't think it's going to lip too soon on anybody. And then with the upper, we have a knit built with recycled materials. Once again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyelets that run up, a 6 back here for lace lock. We have a perforated tongue with a loop here to help lock that tongue down when training, some Xero branding here on the tongue, and then we have that Hirashi inspired design throughout the midfoot of the shoe, just like in most Xero shoes. Now we do have this external cage here, and that does kind of feed into that Hirashi inspired design to help kind of lock down the shoe and give you a nice level of support while also keeping the midfoot and toe box breathable. Back here on the heel, we have an external tab. We have some branding here on the lateral heel, and overall the heel feels very minimalist and it feels very sock-like on the foot. Looking at the sole, we have that tire inspired traction here, so that is something that I think helps this shoe excel, especially for road running. And then looking at the insole, once again, this model does have a sock liner or insole that is biodegradable, and the internal portion of the shoe is finished, so you do have the option of having a little bit of variance there in regard to leaving that sock liner in or taking it out. All right guys, that wraps up my review of the Xero Shoes Zelen. Overall, I have really liked how this shoe performs, and while the appearance isn't the best, it is moving in the right direction in regard to how most Xero Shoes performance focused models look and feel in regard to daily and casual wear. If you have any questions on this model, drop a comment down below or reach out to me personally, whichever you prefer. And as always guys, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.